Sanje Juda Zogwe Janam La, Janju Bado Dan, Injapsu She, Dagwe Shinso, Gyudmed Sonam. Dodo Benju Sanje Dubare Sho, Sanje Juda Zogwe Janam La, Janju Bado Dan, Injapsu. Dagwe Shinso, Gyudmed Sonam Gye, Dodo Benju Sanje Dubare Sho, Sanje Juda Zogwe Janam. Janju Bado Dan, Injapsu She, Dagwe Shinso, Gyudmed Sonam. I go for refuge and to enlighten to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations through practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to before sentient beings. I go for refuge and to enlighten to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations through practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and to enlighten to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Te Sham Dattagato Hyavatat Te Sham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Swaha. Om Ye Dharma Hetum Te Sham Dattagato Hyavatat Te Sham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Swaha. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava Hetum Te Sham Dattagato Hyavatat Te Sham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Swaha. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Te Sham Dattagato Hyavatat Te Sham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Swaha. All phenomenalism courses, the courses are taught by the Tathagata, the whatever is the cessation courses, as well as that's taught by the great seer. French hero. Okay, we will read the 37 practices of Bodhisattvas. And one page number. No, it can't. It can't be on 36. 37 practices of Bodhisattvas. $172. Okay. 172, 37 practices of Bodhisattvas. Okay, 37 practices of Bodhisattvas. I'm going to read this, and if somehow I'm more thinking of doing the 4 seals with emphasis on emptiness, because that this is something which, generally speaking, 37 practices of Bodhisattvas, compassion, Bodhicitta, and so forth. So these would be relatively easier. But there's, of course, it's very profound, very profound. And given that we have only like today, tomorrow, and day after tomorrow. John Ball? Yes? Today, tomorrow, and day after tomorrow. Okay. So, therefore, I'm just wondering if we can do a little bit on emptiness so that we'll see how it flows. And greatly it depends on the response from the participants. When I ask questions, what response comes from there, I could figure out. So it seems like I see that there are many of you from Nalanda Studies. Raise hand. Nalanda Studies, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. So there are quite a number of you. And from the answers that I was getting, I sense that your level is quite up there. So if you can prove that you are there, then accordingly, it's a natural phenomenon, don't worry, it will naturally go deeper into emptiness. Okay, let's see. It entirely depends on the chemistry of the flow. So with this mind, so get this, the 37 types of Bodhisattvas by Geshe Thomas Sambo. I'm going to quite so this text, in fact, when I first met with this text, it really softens it really softens your mind, at least just at that very moment. It just tames your mind. These are things I should be doing. I've got a very clear instruction. For example, like say a child who's very obedient to the teacher or to your parents, and suddenly parents or the teachers give you instruction to this, to that, and so forth, and then it becomes very clear. Say that, okay, why this? No, these thoughts are not coming. It was just very clear. Wow, this is amazing. For example, like don't talk badly about, if you talk badly about the others, particularly the Bodhisattvas, we never know who the Bodhisattvas are. Particularly, I would say the best of the example that we can see of is His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the embodiment of Bodhisattva. They really think of the whole world. And then in your own capacity, you see somebody who is serving the community and who is helping, the others. For example, like here, the John Paul in charge of the center, Gendudube Center, and here, your name? Terrace. And Terrace taking care of the Laksam Buddhist Center. And then here we have the Patrick and Marianne, who are taking care of this center, and that's amazing. So we really need to support these people, and say not create unnecessary obstacles to them. The moment we unnecessarily backbite them, say something, the unnecessary wrong thing about them, automatically the flow is just disrupted, and we can accumulate so much of negative karma. So these advice that you find here, and when I first saw these things, I just felt that, so I should be very careful with how you talk, how you behave, what to talk, to whom to talk, what to say, what not to say, how much to say, when to say, where to say, how much to say. We need to think of all these things. When I sense that, wow, this is amazing. So then later on, so after seeing this text, and then when I see some people unnecessarily creating problems, as well, the whole world is made for them, and the whole world should be there to take care of you. And you have no sense of responsibility, and every people taking the responsibility, you just downgrade them, by them. Meanwhile, you are actually injecting poison in your mind. Injecting poison. What's the poison? Poison means to create problem on you, and you create unnecessary negative karmas that in the future lifetimes, your growth in the spiritual path, gade bara, some Buddhist, so that is going to be hampered. So therefore, these are things that we need to remember. And this is incredibly great set of advice for all of us. And with respect to this author, when I first heard some stories about this author, this itself is great, inspiring for us. And the practice of compassion, practice of the bodhicitta, practice of the wisdom, and so forth. And this author, when he was just about like maybe 4 or 5 years old, just a very small child, born in a very remote place, very cold area in Tibet. So it says that this author he was 4 or 5 years old. Very cool the area, and the clothes that they had, it's just like sheepskin chuba meaning the dress, the Tibetan traditional dress, and the sheepskin dress, and in the winter, of course, it keeps you warm. And in the evening, this little boy went out to relieve himself, and coming back, he came naked. And the family members said, "Where's your chuba?" And this boy was not even uttering a word. And the family members, they went out to look for the chuba. Finally, they found his chuba on a bush. And why this little boy put the chuba with the bush? So they removed the chuba. They found a tiny spider down there. So this time, this little boy, was thinking that I'm such a huge person, and this is tiny. He does not have a chuba, so he must be feeling so cold. So he gave his chuba to him. So this is how he exhibited such high level of compassion at such a tender age. So this is all because of the practice of compassion in the former life. So likewise, this little boy, once he was his uncle was taking him from one place to another place. So in between, there was thunderstorm, and there was a whole gust of the wind blow. So with this, he saw the leaves being carried up, thrown up in the sky. And this boy, just looking at these, they started to cry, weep, and scream. And the uncle knew that this boy is very special. And the uncle also knew why this boy is crying. So uncle said, "You stupid boy, stop crying. These are not birds. These are leaves." And the boy would be so happy, feel so relieved. Then he stopped crying, getting the assurance that these are not birds. Birds are not harmed. So this is how this little boy exhibited so much more compassion, even at this early tender age. So if you practice, as a matter of time, for example, like you keep depositing, say, for example, 10 euros, 100 euros every, Swiss franc. It's not euros. Okay. Swiss franc, like 100 Swiss franc, or like 50 or 10, whatever. You keep depositing it every day. Naturally, after 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, it's going to be a huge amount. So this is how the things work, cause-effect relationship. So somebody who practice, who you may not be so compassionate at the moment, the way this little boy demonstrated, but if you keep practicing this very systematically, and of course it should be very systematic. So for that, we need to remember correct information. To practice, we need to know how to practice. So Bodhisattva Thomas, I'm going to say here, how to practice. For that, we have to know how to practice correct information, then the complete information, and then the systematic information. This is something so unique about Lama Tsongkhapa. This is so unique. So where you read Lama Tsongkhapa's text, and particularly after, for example, if you do the knowledge courses, knowledge studies, okay, I asked Kumbala, and he forgot to remind me of the brochure. Actually, he said, "No, I'm blaming him because I don't want to be blamed." So actually, it's lying in my room, and so this is my style. I ask people to remind me. Okay, So so you do these, for example, studies, say, correct information, complete information, and systematic information. So those people, those people who have been very consistent with these, for example, like what we study of the great masters, legacies left by the great masters, Indian masters, but like that of the Nalanda Are Nagarjuna, Bodhisattva Deva, Acharya Chandrakirti, Bodhisattva Shanti Deva, Bodhisattva Shanti Rakshita, Acharya the Arya Sangha, Acharya Vasubandhu, Acharya Dignaga, Acharya the Acharya Dharmakirti, and so forth, and then Lama Selimba Lama Tisha. So these teachings, if we study consistently, and when we do the consistent studies, we may not feel that there's any growth happening, because it is like somebody building a small shed versus somebody building a big mansion. Building a big mansion, you'll not see the growth so fast, but small shed will come very quickly. So people may feel impressed. Oh, there's something solid there. There's nothing coming up. It's all so much work, but nothing is coming up. But after like maybe 2 years, 3 years, 4 years time, the mansion stands very firm. And with this, the small shed, easily damage can happen. So this is what we are trying to do, particularly from the Gade, Para, Samgade, Bodhiswaha, is from the Mahayana path, from the Bodhisattva path, from the path to liberate all the beings. It's not that easy. For that, we require systematic planning, strategic practice. For that, correct information, then complete information, and systematic information. We should not forget this. This is something so unique of Lama Tsongkhapa. So, with this mind, then we practice this study, do these studies with the correct information which we get, of course, from the Buddha, and then further explained by the great masters of the Nalanda University, ancient Nalanda University, and then we continue. And then whether people give you credit or not, it doesn't matter. People say, okay, I'm a practitioner, who are you? I'm a simple practitioner. Or I'm a practitioner, I said for 3 times retreat, 4 times retreat. Oh, what is retreat for? Retreat is to kill your ego, and it now is boosting your ego. So while you're doing these, keep low profile. It doesn't, you don't expect any, say the praise by other people. If somebody praises you, fine, just keep yourself, you know yourself the best. What is your level of Bodhicitta? What is your level of wisdom emptiness? You know that. What is your level of the single point meditation? You know that. And then you always see that when someone praises you, sees the longer way that you still have to go. Gade, Paragan, I'm yet even to reach the Gade. So then, once reading Gade, then Gade, Parasambhada. There are so many ways to go. I should not be feeling egoistic for whatever little achievement that people they praise me for. I should not be feeling egoistic. So whereas somebody deprecates you, what are you doing? Always study. There's no practice. If somebody denigrates you, if somebody deprecates you for that matter, or insults you for that matter, just have the confidence that, okay, what I'm doing is the one. His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the final authority of Buddhism today. So this is his advice, his approach. And look at him. Look at his holiness. So how his knowledge is so vast and practice is amazing. So that is his example, his own experience shared with us, and he expects us to do that for our well-being. So whoever says, who cares? So as long as I follow the footsteps of His Holiness on the proper track. So this confidence we need to have. If somebody is there to denigrate you, if somebody is there to deprecate you, then this is what we need to think of. Where somebody praises you, then we should not be egoistic. Oh, people love my this, people say that I'm good, I'm great. No, What great. So the thing is that just remember the advice that we read from Geshe Thome Sambo. These are very, very powerful. And then from here you also see at the last section the colophon, where the author he expressed the humility. Such incredibly enlightened master, and expressing humility, which means that this is a teaching for us. This itself is a teaching for us. Whatever little thing that you do for yourself, for others, and then for your personal retreats and so forth, keep them low profile. And I'm glad, to be very honest, I'm very glad that the seniors, I would say, from the Tibet House classes, Nalanda Master's Course, Batch 1, the graduates of the Masters, the NMC, Nalanda Master's Course, Batch 1, I'm quite glad that those who have graduated, they really exhibit a quality of humanity, stability. This is what I sensed. I'm very happy with that. So that is in line with His Holiness's, the aspirations His Holiness's, and what His Holiness wants people, to do. So that will make sure that you are happy. That will make sure that you are somebody to contribute to the happiness of others. So that is something that we need to keep in mind. So with this one, let's read these verses together. It's on page 172, 172. 172. "37 practices of Bodhisattva," by Geshe Thome Sampo. Namo Lokeshvaraya. You see that all phenomena neither come nor go, yet you strive solely for the benefit of beings. Supreme Guru and Protector of Avalokiteshvara, to you I continually bow with body, speech and mind. The perfect Buddhas, the source of benefit and happiness, arise from practicing the genuine Dharma, which in turn depends on knowing how to practice, so I'll explain the Bodhisattva practices. Now that you have obtained this precious human birth, the great boat so difficult to find, in order to free yourself and others from the ocean of samsara, listening, reflecting and meditating with diligence day and night is the practice of a Bodhisattva. Passion towards friends churns like water. Hatred towards enemies burns like fire. Through the darkness of ignorance, one forgets what to adopt and what to reject. To abandon one's homeland is the practice of a Bodhisattva. Giving up inhospitable places, mental afflictions gradually decrease. With no distractions, virtuous activities naturally increase. When mind becomes clear, conviction in the Dharma is born. Therefore, seeking solitude is the practice of a Bodhisattva. Friends and relatives acquainted for long will separate. Possessions gained with exertion will be left behind. The consciousness, a guest, will leave the guest house of the body. To let go of this life is the practice of a Bodhisattva. When due to friendship with someone, the three poisons increase, degrading the activities of listening, reflecting, and meditating, and destroy loving kindness and compassion. To give up such a friendship is the practice of Bodhisattva. Okay, one clarification required is verse number 4, which says that friends and relatives acquainted for long will separate. And yes, this is very true. For example, for me, when I was a little boy, for me, my dad, my mom, and particularly my mom, was the final, the embodiment of, affection. And then just this boy at age 5, the mother left the world. So this is, this is reality. This is reality, and then it happens to everybody. So therefore, the thing is what it says here, is that the excessive obsession to the people, obsession to the wealth, obsession to the power, and obsession to your own achievements. Yes, yeah, your spiritual growth. Somebody who becomes more calm, somebody who becomes more, generates a stronger, a greater understanding, admiration of others. These qualities are so precious. But obsession, oh, I'm this, I'm that, and so forth. So all these obsessions, they will actually steal our mind, and they'll steal our mind and drag us deeper into samsara. And samsara is nothing good. This is not a good place to stay. So the wise ones will see to distinguish what is to be annexed and what is to be discarded. And the obsession, of course, we require friends, we require the material, the facilities, we require all these things. It doesn't mean that just throw away all these things and go to Himalaya and then no, this is, though there are some very rare, I would say less than 1% of I would say 0.001 of the human beings who can actually do that. And whereas majority of us, we cannot do that. Simply because we cannot do that doesn't mean that you are totally incompetent. There's not a meaning. The point is that we should be very realistic. Say, friends are required. Don't push away the friends. In fact, the pushing of the friends itself is which means you're pushing away means aversion. So aversion against the dharma. And the infatuation is also a problem. So infatuation, aversion, all these things we need to know how to strike a balance. And then it says, finally, these are the realities being explained here. The friends and relatives acquired for long will separate. Possessions gained with exertion will be left behind. Yes. Okay, this is something I'd like to share with you here. That I don't know, I have no comment on who was the great Alexander, but I saw a small part of his biography, the last part of his biography. When I read that, when I first heard it from one of the very, the Indian IAS officer, former as the intelligent ones, really Indian smart people. One, he was a very senior, and he took the voluntary retirement, the retirement. And he shared this, and later I checked it, it's just amazing. So what Alexander the Great, I don't know his real biography, but the last bit, which exhibited before his death, that's amazing. So what he said, so here, the great teacher, when we confront with these situations, we should be reminded. So only when you get this information beforehand, and then we are confronted with the situations, you will not be so badly affected. And if you are able to, that way you can remain firm and steady. So you can remain strong. Where you remain strong, your family members, they will be greatly benefited to see that everybody loves each other. Family members, particularly, they love each other. So this is where we need to really learn how to remain strong. And looking at this, say the possessions gained with exertion will be left behind. And all these remind me of what Alexander the Great, what he said. And consciousness, find our mind, a guest. The body is the guest house, and our mind is the guest. We'll leave the guest house of the body. So therefore, this is reality. Why do we have so guest house means, say, if I am here, let's say that if I'm here just for a few days, I'm here for just for 3-4 days, and I may say, oh, there's a heat wave, 32 degrees centigrade, heat wave, so I have to put up, AC, aircon, right? So ordering aircon bill, it may take, I know Swiss should be very effective, but Swiss doesn't have aircon in the shops. No aircon. You're getting it? No, it's not available because there's no use. There's no use. So we have to order from India or from somewhere from there, and it'll take another 15 days. In 3 days, I have to leave. So to think of all this, and the aircon, heat waves coming, 32 degrees centigrade, where Delhi 46 is fine, no problem. So here heat wave, how will you survive? Then you go order the AC. When some AC comes, that technician is not here. And technician got look for technician, meanwhile another 1 month. So in 3 days I have to leave. A guest has to leave. So therefore, this is total obsession where you become insane. insane, which totally against the reality. So let go of this life. Doesn't mean that, okay, just don't take care of your life. There's not a meaning. To let go of this life with obsession. With obsession, say, involuntary pull, involuntary push, involuntary, what is this word? Involuntary. Is it positive or negative? It's very negative. So, negative means, do you want to be negative? You want to be positive. We want to be positive in thinking. Be positive in COVID. Right? Be positive in thinking. Be positive in thinking. So, for that, to let go of this life, meaning involuntary pull and push. That's the problem. So the Buddha is teaching us how to stop the involuntary pull, and the involuntary pull, which is attachment, involuntary push, which is aversion. This is what the Buddha is teaching us. So it says to let go. Involuntary pull and push, just stop that. Let go of this voluntary pull and push with respect to the infatuation with this life. Material things, power, possession, and your, even the youth. Even the youth, it doesn't mean that, okay, don't care for your health. No. Youth is extremely important. At the same time, too obsessed with this and try to maintain yourself. It's very youthful. Of course, doing exercises, eating healthy food, these are all extremely important. By the time you reach age 40, you come to realize how your body is crumbling down. And by age 50, you see your body is, for example, what I noticed was that the moment I hit age 50, even my breathing changed. I could feel that. Even my breathing changed. When I sleep, my breathing, it changed after 50. I may walk as like I was 20 years old, but the breathing did not, it was not like 20 years. Breathing is 50 years. Breathing told me that you are 50 years. So what I'm saying is that that youth is very good. And say that say if you are in your 30s, by the way, raise your hands those who are in 30s. Raise your hands those who are in 30s. John Paul? No? Raise hands those who are in 30s. Yes. Okay. Hey, Tenjula. Okay, less than I should have said less than 39 or less than 39. Raise hands. Less than 39 or less than 39. Okay. John, no. Juan, no. 39 or less. Yes. Okay. So what I'm saying is that youth is very, very important. But let's say the Uyanla, Kendula, if may I ask you, how old are you? 34. Okay. If somebody says, Kendula, you look like 44. Are you happy, not happy? Be very honest. Not happy. Okay, but look. If somebody says you are 34 and somebody says you look 44, what would you? And I've literally seen some people, I'm not going to say who, people literally fighting at somebody else when you just increase 1 month. Say you are 39 and 11 months, and 1 month to become 40, hit 40. And sometimes you look like 40, feel so insulted, and later backbiting, fighting. I've seen that. Just 1 month. And whereas you say somebody who is 40, if somebody say, you look like 30, you will not fight. You're so happy. Thank you. you're so happy. So what happened was that I was in my 40s. I was in my 40s. Literally, I was in my 40s. And I went to meet a dentist. At the dentist, there were no customers, only me. And the dentist, I did not ask anything about the age. And he himself voluntarily told me, okay, now I'm getting old, I cannot work. Now I'll gradually close this shop. And he said that I'm already 60. I'm already, what he said? I'm already 67. So this is what he said. And I didn't ask his age. He voluntarily told me. Then he told me, how old are you? He asked me, how old are you? I was in my 40s. And I said, I'm 70. I said, I'm 70. He said, no, you're not 70. I said, yes, I'm 70. Do I look young? He said, yes, you are not 70. And then I said, then guess, how old do you think I am? And he said, you look like, I was in 40s. He said, you look like 65. So those who would fight over 1 month, right, they will become crazy. They'll die. They'll die on the spot. You're in 40s, suppose you are like 65, and then you go crazy, you'll die. Finish, you leave the hospital, the clinic right away. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. There's too much obsession to the self. These are the indications. Too much obsessions. To let go of this obsession to this life related to material things, your power, position, your body, your youth, and so forth, and including your family members, who at the moment are so close to each other. And in fact, there's one, usually, this is very sad. Usually we see that this is very frequent, the phenomena that I noticed, that oftentimes there used to be clash in the families. Say, two brothers, two sisters, brother, sister, as very young, they're extremely close, and your father is fighting with your uncle. Your mother is fighting with your uncle or aunt. This is what is happening. And you say, my aunt is so bad. They are doing like this with the properties. And then gradually you become uncle and aunt. Then you start fighting. Extremely sad. And I see this so many cases. This is what I've been seeing. So what I'm saying is that it does not mean that, and then particularly when these things, when I share these things, people who should listen, who should hear, they don't hear these things. People, who are already behaving so nicely, they feel offended. Oh, yeah, I have a problem with my brother, with the property. So now Geshe is saying this, so I have to now give up, let him do whatever he likes. No, the other person take advantage of you, taking advantage of your compassion. So therefore, we have to know striking balance. And say this morning I mentioned about where the Buddha emphasized the need for skillful compassion. Compassion guided by the skillfulness, wisdom, where you have to think of all the facets, all the components of the event. For example, like say you have this litigation case, and of course you are not to try to, sometimes it's very sad to see one brother bullying the sister, trying to snatch everything away from the sister, or somebody who's more dominant, trying to take everything for himself, and likewise a sister, again, do the same thing. Your sibling taking everything away from the sibling. This is very sad. Once in a while, when we see that somebody is sharing with the brothers sisters, supporting the brothers sisters, that is extremely healing. Even to hear these stories is very healing, inspiring. Okay, so when we say this, we expect it to behave in such a way that the other person does not accumulate negative karma. Your involvement, your compassion should be such that the other person, not allowing the other person to accumulate extra negativities. Because you are compassionate, Your compassion, and you see this text, to let go of this life is the practice of Bodhisattva. So unless I guess, yes, true. Or the world I'm going to leave behind, yes. The problem left my parents are to be left behind, yes. So therefore it says to let go of this life is the practice of Bodhisattva. So I should let go. Then the other person will take even more, will take advantage. So that way you are giving you are paving the road for the other person to accumulate more negative karma. You are not being of service, you are being disservice to the other person. So we should be very, very, very careful. In other words, so anger should not be given rise to. Tame your anger when the conflicts are bound to be there. When the conflicts happen, anger should be managed. And with law, whatever the law says, follow that. And then don't allow your brother or sister who's ever on the other side to accumulate negative karma. Negative karma, how? You, by remaining very submissive, or seeing this and become submissive, you are allowing the other person to accumulate more negative karma. So whatever the law and the dictates, just follow that and be happy. So this is what I'm saying. So with this mind, these explanations are required. Otherwise, sometimes the good people, they tend to understand this in a different way, and they thereby letting others accumulate so much of negative karma, and then the whole the world goes into chaos. Okay, verse number 5, we read this. Okay, verse number 5. And being with good friends, this is good friends, companions, this is very, very important. Say the Buddha, when we talk about say Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, then Dharmam Sharanam Gacchami, then Sangam Sharanam Gacchami. When we say Sangam Sharanam Gacchami, means that I'll go for refuge in the Sangha. What does it mean by that? It means that I'll go with the good companions. I'll go with the good companions. So, for example, like here, say organized by, I would say collaboratively between the Gyudmed Center and the Lhasam Center, and here the Tupten Chamzeling, beautiful space. So we see that so with this environment, people, we're all very happy. We start feeling the healing here. The mind of the people have tremendous power to destroy you and heal you. It has tremendous power. So when like-minded people come in a virtuous direction, it's so healing. Just be around in this environment itself is so healing. So therefore, the correct friendship, this is so important. So the Buddha in Dhammapad, so what the Buddha taught is that if possible, go with good companions. Let me repeat it. Buddha taught, if possible, always go with good companions. If not, better to go on your own than to go with bad companions. Simply because that you think you need a companion, you don't get good friends around, then go with bad companion. This is absolutely wrong. And then here the author very clearly explained what constitutes good companion, good friendship, what constitutes a bad friendship. Okay, verse number 5. Let's see. Let's read this together. When due to friendship with someone, the three poisons increase, degrading the activities of listening, reflecting, meditating, and destroy loving kindness and compassion. To give up such a friendship is a practice of a bodhisattva. When relying on someone, your negativities diminish and your positive qualities grow like a waxing moon. To cherish such a spiritual friend more than your own body is a practice of a bodhisattva. Themselves captives in the prison of samsara, whom can the worldly gods protect? Therefore, to seek refuge in the three jewels, who do not betray you, is the practice of a bodhisattva. The suffering of the lower realm, so difficult to bear, is what the Buddha taught to be the fruit of negative karma, negative actions. Therefore, even at the cost of your life, never to commit negative actions is the practice of a bodhisattva. Happiness in the three realms, like a dew on a blade of grass, is subject to instantaneous fading away. To strive for the supreme state of liberation that never wavers is the practice of Bodhisattva. From beginningless time, your mothers have cherished you. If they suffer now, what good is your own happiness? Therefore, in order to liberate an infinite number of sentient beings, cultivating bodhicitta is a practice of a bodhisattva. Okay, what happened? Okay. 11. All suffering comes from yearning for your own happiness. The perfect Buddhas are born from the intention to benefit others. Therefore, truly exchange your own happiness for the suffering of others is the practice of a bodhisattva. Even if someone driven by excessive desire steals all your wealth or incites someone else to steal it, to dedicate to this person your body, possessions, and all your virtues for 3 times is the practice of a bodhisattva. If someone cuts off your head, even when you have not done the slightest wrong, through the power of compassion, to take the misdeeds upon yourself is the practice of a bodhisattva. Should someone slander you and proclaim it in a billion worlds, in return with a loving heart, to proclaim their good qualities is the practice of a bodhisattva. If in the midst of a crowd someone exposes your hidden faults and abuses you for them, to bow to them with respect, seeing them as spiritual teacher, is the practice of a bodhisattva. If someone whom you cherish as dearly as your own child takes you for an enemy, then like a mother who loves a sick child, to love that person even more is the practice of bodhisattva. Even when someone who is your equal or inferior, driven by arrogance, seeks to disparage you, to place them on the crown of your head, with the same respect as you would accord your guru is the practice of a bodhisattva. Though gripped by acute poverty and constantly scorned by others, stricken by terrible illness and possessed by evil spirits, to take upon yourself the negativities and suffering of every being and never to get discouraged is a practice of a bodhisattva. Though you may be famous and prominent, someone to whom others bow, though you amass riches like that of the god of wealth, to see the worldly splendor has no essence, and thus to be without arrogance is a practice of a bodhisattva. If you have not pacified the enemy of your own anger, combating outer opponents will only make them multiply. Therefore, with the army of loving kindness and compassion, to tame your own minds is the practice of a bodhisattva. Sensual pleasures are like salt water. The more you partake of them, the more your craving will increase. Therefore, when something arouses attachment, you abandon it immediately is the practice of a bodhisattva. All appearances are your own mind, and mind itself primordially transcends all mental fabrications. Knowing this and to remain free from apprehending the science of subject and object is a practice of a bodhisattva. When you encounter objects that please your mind, like rainbows in the summer season, though they seem beautiful, not to view them as real and to give up attachment to them is a practice of a bodhisattva. All suffering is like the death of your child in a dream. To take such delusive appearances as true, how exhausting. Therefore, whenever you encounter unpleasant circumstances, to see them as deception is a practice of a bodhisattva. If those who aspire to enlightenment willingly give up their bodies, what need is there to mention material objects? Therefore, with no hope of reward or benefit, to give with generosity is practice of bodhisattva. So here now, indicating the 6 perfections. So number 1, verse number 25 is generosity. Now next, the 6 is the discipline, and 27 is the patience. 28, likewise, every verse is the 6 perfections. Okay, 26. If lack of discipline prevents you from benefiting yourself, then you wish to benefit others is just a joke. Therefore, to observe discipline with no longing for worldly existence is a practice of a bodhisattva. For a bodhisattva who seeks wealth of virtue, every perpetrator of harm is like a precious treasure. Therefore, without feeling irritation towards any, to cultivate practice, patience is the practice of a bodhisattva. If Shravakas and Pradik Buddhas who strive for their benefit alone exert efforts as if to extinguish a fire burning on their heads, to cultivate joyous effort, the wellspring of positive qualities is the practice of a bodhisattva. Especially inside, perfectly endowed with shamatha, completely conquers all afflictions. Knowing this and cultivating meditative concentration, and that transcends the 4 formless states, is the practice of a bodhisattva. The practice of the first 5 perfections, but without wisdom cannot achieve perfect enlightenment. Equipped with skillful means and cultivating the wisdom of non-conceptualizing the three spheres is a practice of a bodhisattva. If you do not, okay, this is very important. This is very important, 31. This is very important. So this is like the author is giving us the mirror, how to use the mirror to see what's wrong with us. So it says, okay, 31. If you do not analyze your own faults, you might put on the dharmic facade while behaving in a non-virtuous dharmic way. Therefore, to continually analyze your own faults and then discard them is a practice of a bodhisattva. If compelled by your own afflictions, you speak of the faults of other bodhisattvas, you yourself will degenerate. And then many of us may think that okay, to speak of others' faults, then it says you yourself will degenerate. So it's about the others, faults of the other bodhisattvas. Okay, people that I'm talking badly of, they are not bodhisattvas. Yeah, we may think like this. We never know who are the bodhisattvas. We never know. Particularly, I would say that. So, who do we think will attract more? I would say so-called enemies. Somebody who has no responsibility versus somebody who has a responsibility. Who takes the responsibility, or somebody who does not have responsibility. So the third person will attract. The situations are more likely that you will feel averse to the person who is taking responsibility or who has no responsibility. Guess? Yes, towards somebody who takes responsibility. Who takes responsibility? You want freedom, and the institution has a rules, regulations, and you want rules to be stretched. And then they present their responsibility not to stretch rules. So I will say that I'm sorry. The moment you say I'm sorry, the person who has no responsibility says, oh, you can say, tell him, do that. But the responsible will never say this. So therefore, then you may feel averse to them. So these people who take responsibilities, we cannot think of the Bodhisattva like His Holiness here, there. No, it's so rare. In my life, somebody who truly exhibited a very high level of compassion, I've seen them so less. So don't expect that Bodhisattvas, maybe, oh, he's not Bodhisattva, she's not Bodhisattva. Of course, I know. Don't think like this. We never know who are the Bodhisattvas. We never know. And more importantly, whether the other person, the Bodhisattva or not, somebody who is taking the responsibility of an institution, that too, because of the person's sense of concern for Dharma and so forth. So there, let us try to understand and do not try to create problem for them. This is very important. When you create problem just by backbiting things and unnecessarily, for no reason, you just go with your own stories and then inflict or then projecting on the person who is taking responsibility. It can be very, very, without any benefit, you accumulate so much of no benefit for yourself. And meanwhile, you accumulate so much of negative karma that you will suffer a lot, and then your growth in the path, gade, will be hampered, will be delayed so greatly. So these are things that we need to remember. So with this mind, let us read 32 once more. If compelled by your own afflictions, you speak of the faults of other bodhisattvas, you yourself will degenerate. Therefore, never citing the faults of those who have entered the Mahayana path is the practice of a bodhisattva. Okay, just for your information, what happened was that I have a friend, and then I meet him once in a year, maximum twice, otherwise once in a year. Once in a year we meet. And there's a time I get all the news. I get all the news of, usually it's not good news, all the bad news of, what's happening in the Tibetan community. So all the news I get every year for the last many years, this is where I met. And then the same, I already made the commitment. When necessary, then I may speak up. Otherwise, not necessary, no benefit for anybody. Instead, your ego arises, your anger arises. No. Why should you demonstrate yourself as weak? Anger is a sign of weakness. Ego is a sign of weakness. It's not a sign of strength. So I promised not to say anything bad about anybody unnecessarily. Where there's a reason, the purpose, then if you see that somebody is driving so many people in the wrong direction, then you have to speak up to protect those people. Otherwise, for example, say somebody unknown person, say what, the always have the games or mobile, Instagram, worrying about the Instagram. If I don't use it, if I don't check it now, in 24 hours it'll disappear. And so it'll disappear. I have to check it now. This says, who am I to talk about that person? And you say something, even with the best of intention, the other person will feel angry. Who are you? And then he's doing like, you're not his disciplinarian. So, why do you have to talk? So, all unnecessary. You have a lot more other things to do to practice Bodhicitta. It's better, rather than saying bad thing about somebody else. So, if at all you want to really help the other person, make friend with that person. Make friend. Let him play. Let him go with the gadgets. And observe the good qualities. It's not only bad qualities all the time. There are good qualities also. And then in front of other people, praise the person with the good qualities. Then the person will feel that, okay, so while I know that I'm always after the gadget, but he also observed my good qualities. So what is said is true. So the tendency for him to listen to you increases. And then you say something, okay, you can just how about reducing it? So sometimes leaving the mobile and then do something like jogging or reading some books by His Holiness and so forth. And then there's a greater likelihood the person will listen to you. So instead of saying, what is this, wasting your time like this, the person, who are you? And then you say, oh, I'm studying Dharma, there's Nalanda. The person will become angry towards you, Nalanda also. And then you have a dog, person will become angry towards your dog also. Because of you. Because the person can become angry towards all who surround you. So therefore, these are things that we need to be very careful. So, okay. So with this, let's now read 32 once more. If compelled by your own afflictions, you speak of the faults of other bodhisattvas, you yourself will degenerate. Therefore, never keep citing the faults of those who have entered the Mahayana path is a practice of a bodhisattva. Desire for gain and services leads to mutual arguments, and activities of listening, reflecting, and meditating decline. Therefore, to relinquish attachment to the household of friends, relatives, and benefactors is a practice of bodhisattva. Okay, what I was supposed to share about that, my friend, who brings news. 1 year news during the 1 hour meeting. In 1 hour, get all the news of the 1 year news. And then suddenly he said, Geshe La, you are not talking bad about any person. Because he noticed that the news that he is talking is about this person, that person, all the wrong things, bad things. And you never beg by anybody. I say that it's just waste of my time. It's just waste of my time. It's just unnecessarily my health goes on. I'm aging, I'll become older. So being angry, aging faster. I don't want to age faster. It is all waste of my time. If I have little extra time, I'd rather take rest, sleep, or go for a walk. So rather than, backbiting. Then he discovers something in himself. And the next time he brings the news, but the backbiting is minimized. And the third meeting, backbiting stopped. That's amazing. So this is what we all can try. In fact, the Gyudmed Monastic, and to the right side, to Lama Tsongkhapa's right side is Geshe Rinpoche, to his left side is Khyuru Rinpoche. It said that Khyuru Rinpoche made several promises in his life, commitments in his life. One of which is, there are several of them, and one of which is not to say anything bad about any other person. So these are incredibly great examples for us. Incredibly great. Okay, so 34. Harsh words disturb the minds of others and degenerate the bodhisattva's conduct. Therefore, to give up harsh and unpleasant speech towards others is the practice of a bodhisattva. Once you have become accustomed to afflictions, they are hard to undermine with antidotes. Therefore, with the remedial weapons of mindfulness and introspection, to forcefully eliminate afflictions such as attachment, the moment they arise is the practice of a bodhisattva. In brief, wherever you are and whatever you do, always examine the state of your mind and continuously working for the welfare of others is the practice of a bodhisattva. To dedicate the merits thus accumulated through these efforts towards enlightenment, with a wisdom free of concepts of three spheres, in order to eliminate the suffering of all infinite beings, is the practice of a bodhisattva. By relying on the words of genuine masters, I explain the meaning taught in sutras, tantras, and treatises in the form of these 37 practices of a bodhisattva to benefit those who wish to train on the bodhisattva path. Okay, now this is the expression of the humility by the author. And because my intelligence is less and my learning is meager, I lack in linguistic skills to please the scholars. Yet since they are based on sutras and their teachings of genuine masters, I believe these practices of a bodhisattva are flawless. Nevertheless, since the vastness of bodhisattva conduct is difficult to fathom, by someone like me with an inferior intellect, I pray to the genuine masters to consider with patience all my flaws such as contradictions, incoherence, and so forth. By virtue of the merit gathered here, and by the power of the conventional and ultimate bodhicitta, may all sentient beings become like the benefactor of Avalokiteshvara, who dwells neither in the extreme of samsara nor in that of solitary peace. Okay. Okay, so this morning we were talking about the three transcendental of Dharma, and we were doing the third one. So third one, the three subheadings. What was the first? The place. Wow, okay. This is amazing. She's on the toes all the time. Okay, so the third, in the third noble of Dharma, we associate with that. We learn number one, the place. Number two, target audience. Number three, the subject matter. First, the place, Vaishali, and the target audience is Chidamatra, and the subject matter is known as the technically it is known as the dharma of the distinguishing. Dharma of the distinguishing, like fine distinguishing, or thorough distinguishment, thorough distinguishment, or like one number chokur. This is the Tibetan like one number chokur. What is the distinguishing that is involved here? So that I was supposed to be explaining. So Bodhisattva, Bodhisattva. Who was the Bodhisattva who asked the question to the Buddha? Bodhisattva Pramad Samudgata. So he asked anybody who remembers what question he asked the Buddha? Quick, to save time. Okay, Nicola is expert. Anyone else? Okay, we may say the superficial contradiction. Because they appear as contradictory, but actually it's not contradictory. So superficial contradictory between the teachings of the first turning and the teachings of the second turning. So what was the superficial contradiction? In the first turning, the Buddha taught the Four Noble Truths to be truly existent. And the second turning of Dharma, the Buddha taught nothing exists truly. Okay, so if you leave it on the surface or the superficial level or the face value, the two seem to be contradictory. There must be a reason for the Buddha to give this teaching. So what could be the reason? So this question asked, then the Buddha accepted, yes, this is what I did, and there's a reason there. Then the Buddha made the clarification. So what is the clarification? So here comes a little technical side. Ready? Here comes a little technical. It's not difficult. It's only a little technical side. Okay. So for that, we need to know, first of all, just for the time being, just leave aside mentally, don't forget, but leave aside whatever we have, whatever you have studied before the last 1 year, 10 years, whatever. And just imagine, they say, think fresh, meaning start from a clean slate. Say anything that comes to your mind, anything that comes to your mind. How many things are there in the universe? 10, 20, 100,000? Huh? Infinite, countless. Okay. And not even the things. You can even imagine things which don't exist. So anything that comes to your mind, do you agree with me that although we may not identify what these things are, forget about all the things, even the trees, even the houses, we cannot identify which is which. But there is a way and manner in which you can understand what constitutes everything. So anything that comes to mind can be classified into, just see if you agree with them or not. Anything that comes to mind can be classified into two groups. One is existence, what exists, and one is non-existent. You agree? You cannot think of anything which doesn't fall under one of these two groups. You agree? Good. Existence or non-existence. Now, existence. Been exercised and gradually it becomes very agile and keeps expanding. So this I too for Buddha nature. Now I know. Now I understand it. Okay, so now your job is to remember those things which I did not classify any further. Okay, let me start from the beginning to make sure that you know the things which I do not classify any further. First, whatever comes to your mind can be grouped into two, existence and non-existence. Now, non-existence I'm not going to classify. Remember those which I'm not going to classify. Existence I'm going to divide them into two, permanent and impermanent. Now, impermanent I'm not going to divide any further. Permanent phenomena I'm going to divide further. And permanent ultimately, now tell me, which I did not classify any further. How many things? Raise your hands. Raise your hands. Raise your hands. Raise your hands. Okay, raise your hands. So my question, how many things are there which I did not classify any further? Okay, Wangchula. Okay, let's all listen and see if you agree or not agree. If you disagree, after Wangchula, raise hand. Okay, first, non-existence. Number two, impermanence. Number three, number three, number three, number three. Anyone who likes to? Okay, here's Kunsala. Yeah, wow, this is amazing. Ultimate reality, permanent phenomena other than ultimate reality. How many of them are there? Impermanence, ultimate reality, and permanent phenomena other than ultimate reality. Total 4. Okay, good. How many of you are happy with this response? How many agree with this? There are the 4 items. which I did not classify any further. 4. So keep the list of these 4. Once more, what are they in the list of the 4? Non-existence. Okay, non-existence. Number 1, non-existent. Number 2, impermanent phenomena. Number 3, ultimate reality. Number 4, permanent phenomena other than ultimate reality. Very good. Okay, good. I'm not going to discourage you anymore. Because if I said that if you don't remember these 4, talking about emptiness is far away, that you will not study emptiness. Okay, so I'll not discourage you. 4. Now, don't forget these 4 items. The list of 4, now I'm going to give you a list of 3. List of 3, these are known as the 3 natures. 3 natures. The 3 natures are imputed nature, other powered nature, and thoroughly established nature. Let me repeat it. Okay, just note them down and I'm going to explain. Imputed nature, other powered nature, and thoroughly established nature. Imputed nature, other powered nature, thoroughly established nature. 3. Okay, now we have 2 sets, a set of 4 and a set of 3. So we need to match 2 sets, and the set of 4. Let's say that the imputed nature and what is other powered nature. Other powered nature meaning something which exists by the power of other causes. It means a thing which exists by the other power, by the power of other causes and conditions. This is known as the other powered nature. So other powered nature and other powered nature from the set of 3 and the impermanent phenomena from the set of 4, these 2 are synonymous. Let me repeat it. Other powered nature from the set of 3 and the impermanent phenomena from the set of 4, these 2 are synonymous. So impermanent from the set of 4 will go into the basket it will go into the other powered nature. That's done. So now from the set of 4, how many are left? 3. What are they? Non-existence, ultimate reality, permanent phenomena other than ultimate reality. Okay, from the set of 4, the ultimate reality, and from the set of 3, a thoroughly established nature. A thoroughly established nature means something which is so reliable, thoroughly established, so reliable. So ultimate reality from the set of 4 and the thoroughly established nature from the set of 3, these 2 are synonymous. These 2 are synonymous. So the ultimate reality from the set of 4 goes into the ultimate reality from the set of 4 goes into the thoroughly established nature from the set of 3. Okay, now from the set of 4, how many left? 2. What are they? Non-existence and permanent phenomena other than non-existence. So now, by default, where do they go? They go in the imputed nature. What does it mean by imputed nature? Okay, this is very important. What does it mean by imputed nature? This is so important, and I would say that if you learn these concepts, say from a little experience of all these years of studies, we see that these small concepts, although we study as a part of the Chittamatra and sometimes as a part of this South Trantic School, but these are the stepping stones to get to the study of emptiness according to Prasangika. These are so precious concepts. Without studying these, and suddenly you understand that everything is like a dream, but never ever happen. So, same the imputed nature, for example. Okay. Okay, what is this? Sunflower. Okay, don't complicate. Just a sunflower. Okay, sunflower. What is sunflower in French? Tournesol. Okay, tournesol. Sunflower. Now, what's the color? Yellow sunflower. What is my right hand? Nothing. Imagine a blue sunflower. Imagine blue sunflower. Okay, now, okay. Swiss people, what is my left hand? Yellow sunflower. What is my right hand? Hey, the John Paul, what's my left, the right hand? That's amazing. That's amazing. Okay, you can see image. Okay, okay. Imaginary. Imaginary blue sunflower. Very good. Okay. So which of the two is more reliable, stable? The yellow sunflower or the imaginary blue sunflower? Which of the two is more reliable, stable? Yellow one. Why not the other one? It is purely imaginary. You're getting imputed. So imputed nature of the three natures, imputed nature is something which comes from your mind, which is not really there from the substance. Okay, which is coming from the mind, which comes from mind. So this is the meaning of the imputed. What is non-existent is also purely coming your own imagination. And then what is that? The permanent phenomena other than ultimate reality. That's also imaginary. Imaginary meaning is coming from your mind. So the non-existence, of course, it is imputed. Imputed means something which comes from your mind. Non-existence is the imputed or not? Non-existent phenomena, they are non-existence. Are they imputed or not? They're imputed. They're coming purely from your mind, not from the object. Then the permanent phenomena other than ultimate reality is also imputed or not? Okay. Now this is the challenge. If you pass this, we can jump into emptiness directly tomorrow. Directly into emptiness. Okay, if you don't pass this, then we can extend it for another 1 week. Okay, so now tell me, how is the permanent phenomena other than ultimate reality is purely coming from your mind? How is that? Anyone? Raise your hands. Raise your hands, Ajala and who else? Raise your hands. Okay, so by concept, my question to you to clear is, first, give me an example of permanent phenomena other than ultimate reality. Give me some examples, and then we'll check if they are imputed or not. Okay, raise your hands. Raise your hands. What examples do we have for permanent phenomena other than ultimate reality? Okay, uncompounded space or non-composite space. Okay, very good. Very good. Don't forget, let's not forget it. Okay, the director. Meaning generality, number 2. Okay, I'm so glad. Just make sure that you retain that level. Okay, I'm so glad. Okay. Hey, 1, uncompounded space, meaning generality. So you just try to live up to my expectation. Okay, to any more hands coming up. Any more hands coming up? Any more hands coming up? Not part. Absence of part. Very good. So we have 3. Any more hands coming up? No. Say permanent phenomena other than ultimate reality. Exclude ultimate reality. Anyone? Okay, we have non-compounded space. Then we have the
Meaning generality and the non-pot or the absence of pot, and over there, yeah, Tenjula. Okay, Tenjula's coming up very complicated point. Oneness. Oneness. Okay. Amazing. I'm almost level of flying. Don't let me drop. You're getting it? Okay. Anyone else? Anyone else? Jimbal expert. Jimbal expert. Anyone else? Okay, one important. Okay, now let us explore a little further. Okay, uncompounded space. What does it mean by uncompounded space is my question. What do you understand by uncompounded space? Before we explain how it is permanent, other than the ultimate reality, what is uncompounded space, Stephen? Absence of obstruction. What do you mean by where is absence of obstruction? Where is it? Where is it? Here? Okay. Where is it? Okay. At the space between you and I, there is the non-obstruction. Okay, this non-obstruction. Thus far, amazing. Next question. Okay, this non-obstruction, the space between the two of us, what makes you think that this is non-composite? What makes you think that this is uncompounded? The space between you and I, which Stephen says is non-obstruction. So this space, what makes you think that this is uncompounded? If you succeed, then tomorrow directly into emptiness. If you succeed. Okay, let's say John Ball. Okay. The space. The answer is politically correct. More questions? No more questions? The question is that how do you distinguish between compounded space and uncompounded space? How do you distinguish the two? How do you distinguish the two? Compounded space and uncompounded space. Nicola expert, I know. Okay. Anyone else? We have Kumbala. Anyone else? More hands coming up. Angela. Then, okay, more hands coming up. Only 2 hands. Okay, Kumbala. Okay. The question is, how do you distinguish between what is a compounded space and what is uncompounded space? In other words, so tell me, so what is uncompounded space and what is compounded space, and try to show that to us. What is compounded space? What is uncompounded space? And you have to show that to us. Anyone? There's no form. So both. Compounded space and compounded, both don't have form. So they're same. So this is not the distinction. So I ask you to distinguish, and you are saying this, these are the same. Okay. So what is uncompounded and what is compounded? How do you distinguish? First, distinguish the two. Okay, so what was your name? Christy? Christy or Christine? Christine. But Christine means that what is compounded depends on cause conditions, and what is uncompounded, okay, that I know. What I don't know is that I cannot distinguish what is uncompounded and what is uncompounded. We have to say that this is mark and this is fan. We have to show a distinction. First, you have to say that you do see 2 things. I say yes. So this moves, yes. This doesn't move, yes. These are different, yes. So likewise, you have to identify two things. One is compounded space and the other is uncompounded space. How do you show that? So where is it? Where is the compounded? Where is compounded space? Where is it? Then I'll ask where is the uncompounded space? Yet I know. But the absence of obstruction, we can see that. Is it permanent or impermanent? It's permanent, but we can see that. This is what I'm saying. So the absence of something, absence of obstruction, is it permanent or impermanent? Permanent, but I can see that. You see, the permanent phenomenon cannot be seen. Anyone else? Okay, Kunsala is expert. Yes, yes, Kunsala. Okay, that's interesting. Something which we can measure is compounded. For example, the distance, the space, we can measure it. Okay, distance between me and this clock versus distance between me and then in the Tundula. We can measure it, show it. So that is compounded. Uncompounded, which cannot be measured. But where's uncompounded? Okay, the compounded we can see, which we can measure, we can see. But where is uncompounded? Where is it? Okay, so look. Okay, all around us. So this is which we can measure. We cannot measure. Huh? No, this hall, inside this hall is measurable. The sky no need to measure. Inside is we can measure. Inside, do we have the uncompounded space inside or not? Yes. So inside one we can measure, although outside we cannot measure, it's infinite. But inside is measurable, you can measure it. So therefore the space can be measured. Sorry? Okay, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. My question is what you said, what Christian said, is that the uncompounded permanent phenomena cannot be seen. This is what you said. But the absence of obstruction is what we can see. We can see that. You can see or not see. I agree with you. The absence, do we see or not? Absence of obstruction, we can see or not? Absence of obstruction, not. Permanent. So permanent can be seen. Okay. So now my expectation is dipping. Not too sharply, it's dipping a little bit. Okay. So Nalanda students I'm not seeing. I don't know, some problem with my eyes. I don't see the Nalanda students. Tendrula I'm not seeing. Tenjula disappeared for some time. So I'm seeing a little bit. Okay, Tenjula, yes. Okay, what Tenjula is saying is that the true truth, ultimate truth, conventional truth, is all coming from your mind. But we're not talking about the true truth at the moment. What we're talking about is the compounded space and the uncompounded space. Dumeja namka and duje namka. How do you distinguish the two? Okay, so okay, so compounded space is a form, and the lady there, your name? Kamin. Kamin said that the space doesn't have form. And here, your name, Alex. Alex saying that one has form and one doesn't have form. Okay, so the compound space is a form. Dujia number has a form. Okay, if there's no flower, then no form. Okay, so between me and Alex, the space between me and Alex, if it's very clear, no obstruction, then there's no form. Volume is vacuum. So this space is it composite or non-composite? Huh? It's uncomposite. So where's the composite space? Where's the composite space? Composite space. So there is non-composite space. Yes, no. But I'm not talking about excluding you and me. In between. In between you and I, not including, exclude you and exclude me, and that space in between. Is that composite or non-composite? Huh? You think or it is? It is composite. It's not that you think it's composite. You think it's composite, maybe I will go down even deeper. Okay, so there's composite. So what is non-composite? If we cannot decide on this, tomorrow no emptiness. Okay, so the at the moment I see N, I cannot see. Nalanda, I don't see people bearing the label Nalanda. Expert here, Nalanda. Okay, yes, Tundubla. Okay, first my question is, where is the compounded space? So around us, between us, where's the uncompounded space? Also there, these two are mixed. These two are mixed. So Christian, now she changed to I think. So when it goes down, you're getting it? This is very, okay, my question, where is the compounded space and where's the uncompounded space? This first question. Once you say that once you locate where they are, then my question is, how can you say so what is precisely what is uncompounded space? So Stephen said that the uncompounded space is the absence of obstruction. So absence of obstruction, how is that not the compounded space? Or how is the compounded space not the absence of obstruction? Okay, so the space that we are seeing, there's a compounded space. What we are seeing is also the uncompounded space. We're seeing or not seeing it? Are you sure? Which one? It's a concept. It's a concept. So where is it? Oh, it's in here. Not here. Is it between you and I on compounded space? Is it there or not? Okay, a director, young director. Okay, so the absence of obstruction is not outside; it's in your mind. Okay, so the external is obstruction. Because absence is here. So what is outside is not the absence of obstruction. If it's not the absence of obstruction, it should be obstruction. Not obstruction is obstruction. So external is obstruction. So the okay, so I'll ask Angela, what your mom said is correct or not correct? So what is the question? We are talking about the compounded and uncompounded space. Okay, she's an amazing daughter. She wants to give the impression that what the mom said is perfectly all right. She's an amazing daughter. Okay, so now what do? Notice that I have high expectation and okay, Gumbala. Okay, so this concept, absence of obstruction, is it in your mind or is it outside? Okay, it's outside, not in your mind. It's outside. Okay, it's with the object, it's there with the object, but it's a construct. Mental construct is there. Okay, very good. Okay, now let me. Okay, Nicola, now I'm seeing you. Okay. So all the isolates are uncompounded. All the isolates of the compounded space, and the isolate, all the isolates of on top of this, they are permanent or not permanent. Okay, so why the isolate of the on top of the compounded space, isolate of the isolate of the absence of obstruction? How is that permanent? Even the compounded space is also not made of substance. So the space that you are seeing between you and I is also not. Huh? Yes, yes. That we are seeing is made of substance. Are you sure? Okay. So now, if the expert starts mumbling, okay. Now what do you do? Okay. Yes, Jimbala. Okay, so what we do, one thing that we need to keep in mind, that all uncompounded phenomena, we get a feeling it's like compounded phenomena, uncompounded phenomena as like blocked into, say, classified into two groups. Yes, they're classified into two groups, but at the same time, uncompounded phenomena is a phenomenon which your mind imputes. When your mind imputes, and there should be a compounded phenomenon there to impute upon. There must be a compounded phenomena upon which the uncompounded is imputed. If the basis is missing, the compounded is missing, then uncompounded cannot be imputed. So if you impute, it becomes non-existent. It's just like wild imagination. But the uncompounded space is not a wild imagination. It's imputed. It is imputed, but there's a basis there. What is the basis? The compounded space is the basis upon which all the uncompounded things which are associated, which Nicola and which the Tundula said, that they, all those are which were imputed as permanent phenomena upon the compounded phenomena, the compounded space. There should be the compounded space. The uncompounded space is the attribute, is a quality, attribute, characteristic of this the compounded space. It must, in the absolute compounded space, if you say compounded space outside and uncompounded space inside, then it is not imputed upon the compounded space. So as Kumbhara said, it is on the object, not from the object. It is on the object, or on the compounded space, but it is not from the compounded space, from your mind. Okay, this is one thing. So, okay, with this mind now, let us be very careful, particularly those who are more like new to this concept. Don't feel demoralized. It is not difficult. Only thing is that we should pay a little bit of attention. I'm going to quickly share with you on from the scratch, right? So particularly those who felt I'm got lost. What are they saying? I don't understand. Don't worry. Let's start from the scratch. Okay. The first thing is we need to learn the two labels: compounded space and uncompounded space. It can be very confusing. Space, they are not two. It's only one. But don't worry. Just think of these two labels. How many of you heard these two labels now? One is compounded space, and other one is uncompounded space. What it is, don't worry. What it is, what they are, don't worry. Just you said that, yes, I heard the two words. Resents? Okay. Did you hear what I said? I did not ask whether you understood what I said. Okay, 2 plus 3 equals 20. No, this is not my question. Did you hear? Are you listening to me? What did I say? 2 plus 3 equals 20. This is what I said. Move to the last one that I said. So what did I say? Not the first time. I'm saying let's start from this scratch. And did you hear these two words? From me. Good. That's good enough. You're getting it? So this way I said I'm going to start from the scratch. So scratch, yes, you heard that, oh, he's using two words. It can be very, very misleading, confusing, but I did hear what he said. You heard, everybody's heard? Okay, what are the two things, what two labels that are used? Compounded space and uncompounded space. Very good, you heard it. Number one. Now we move to next, number two. Number two is, what is uncompounded space? Forget about the uncompounded. Just focus on the compounded. What is compounded space? Did you hear this word from me, compounded space? You heard it, very good. Now let's see what is meant by compounded space. Compounded space is, okay, stretch your hands towards me. Stretch your arms towards me. Okay, all of you are freely stretching arms. If somebody is next to the wall, just next to the wall, if I ask, stretch, you will not stretch, you will sit like this. Because you see that there's no space to go. There's obstruction there. You see obstruction. Here, Stephen, to the pillar, he is going like this. He's not going too forcefully because he knows that there's a obstruction there. You're getting it? So whereas you stretch your arms very freely, knowing that there's no obstruction. You agree? Okay, how do you know that there's no obstruction? How do you know there's no obstruction in between you and I? That makes you to move your hands very freely. How do you know that? Vanshula, I can see that. You're getting it? Make it very easy. Keep things very easy. I can see that obstruction. Okay. What we call a space, which you can see with the eyes, which allows you to move your hand very freely. That space, which your eyes could see, that is a compounded space. You're getting it? The space which your eyes can see, which allows you to move your hands freely without obstruction, that is the compounded space. This is very important. How many understood this? Raise hands. Okay, minimum 60%. How many understood this? Very good. So this compounded space. Now next, what is uncompounded space? What did I say? Okay, I give you full, you give me full. Next, what is uncompounded? I did not say uncompounded space. I said, what is uncompounded space? Okay, what did I say? Very good. Okay, for this, we say that, okay, let's say, what is my left hand? A flower. A flower. Now, what is my left hand? Nothing. Is there a flower? No flower. Absence of flower? Yes, there is something. Absence of flower is there. It's not zero. It's something in the air. Absence of flower is there. Absence of flower is there. Okay. So, and if you go to the Geneva Street, the city street, and there I ask, what is my hand? Is there something? All of you say, yes, yes, there's something there. And in your mind, absence of flower. Right? There's something. All the street people think that they all group of crazy people are there. There's nothing there, and they're saying something is there. Or otherwise, he may be a magician. Or otherwise, these people who are, they're crazy. They're saying something, but there's nothing there. Okay. So you say there's something there. The street people say there's nothing there. These two are contradictory. These two are contradictory. Now, the point is that what you said, there's something there, and what the street people say, there's nothing there. Superficially, these two are contradictory, and they may think that you're wrong. And you will not think that they're wrong. You will think that they are immature. They did not learn philosophy. They don't know. Right? They think that you, and you think that they are immature. Okay. So they say if a very mature philosopher comes, ordinary people say that, street person say there's nothing there, they say you are right. You will not say that you are immature. They will say you are right. But when you say that there's something there, they will also say you are right. So that very mature person will say that street person also right when they say nothing's there, and they also said you are right when you say something is there. So how does this person reconcile these two different, these superficially opposing answers? Is that when the street people, when they say nothing's there, which means there's no substance there. You're getting it? There's no solid object substance there. This is what they meant when they say nothing's there. And that's true, there's no substance there. Whereas when you say there's something there, means you are thinking logically. Logically, say, although I don't see there, because there's no substance there, there's no flower there. Because there's no flower there, absence of flower should be there. So for you, it's not about the substance, it's about the logical consistency. You are thinking of the logical consistency, and the ordinary people are thinking of the substance. You're getting it? Logically speaking, absence of flower, it makes sense. You agree? Not agree? Absence of flower is in my hand. This is a logical consistency. If you say there's nothing there, it contradicts with it is logically inconsistent. If you say something is there, it contradicts with the street people's point of view. So now street people, when they say nothing's there, means there's no substance there. And when the people like you say that there's something there, means you are being logically consistent. Logically consistent. Okay. So logically consistent means you agree that there's no substance. There's no substance. So what you say is existence should be devoid of substance. You agree? So what you say Is there any substance there? Even you will say there's no substance there. Is there absence of flower? If the absence of flower, if there's a substance, then you can say absence of flower is a substance. But since you said there's no substance there, anything that it exists should be without substance. So absence of flower exists, it is without substance. So now, there's no absence of flower. It has no substance. You agree? Resents. Absence of flower, there's no substance. Flower has substance. You agree? Resents. Okay. What has substance is impermanent nature. What has no substance is permanent in nature. You're getting it? And you may be wondering, suddenly he jumped to some conclusion. Okay, so what is substance is impermanent because what is impermanence? Impermanence is what changes. Only if there's a substance, they will undergo change. You agree? There should be substance to undergo change. If there's no substance, there's nothing to undergo change. So therefore, what is substance and impermanence? These two are synonymous. So because of this, what is no substance does not undergo change. You agree? No, if there's no substance, there's no substance to change. There's no substance to change, it does not change. If it doesn't change, it should be unchanging. What's unchanging is permanent. You're getting it? So, therefore, absence of the flower is permanent, impermanent, from what we have learned here. It's permanent. Absence of, okay. So, this flower, we can talk about, the flower is absent of chocolate. Absence of chocolate. So absence of chocolate, like the absence of flower, is permanent. Absence of chocolate is with this flower. Absence of chocolate is also permanent. Any absences, absence of chocolate, absence of permanence, absence of the intrinsic reality, they're all permanent. They're all non-substantial and they're permanent. So likewise, the space that we see between two of us, that is compounded space or uncompounded space. Compounded space is permanent, impermanent. What we see, what we can validly see, that should necessarily be impermanent in nature. So what we see, the space that we see, does, like my hand, there's no flower, absence of flower. Likewise, this space, does it have obstruction? No obstruction. Absence of obstruction? So absence of obstruction is one of the attributes of this space. And absence of anything is permanent. So absence of obstruction is also permanent. So this absence of obstruction of this space that we are seeing, that quality, the absence of obstruction, that is known as uncompounded space. It's just given label uncompounded space. You getting it? Don't think of uncompounded space like some space there compounded, or yellow in color which is the compounded. No, nothing of this kind. So simply this space that we are seeing, which we call as compounded space, it has the quality of the absence of obstruction. So any absence should necessarily be permanent. So absence of the obstruction, that's permanent. And that absence of the obstruction of this particular space, that absence is given label uncompounded space. You getting it? Okay, so this is how uncompounded space is permanent. So from this uncompounded space is coming from the substance or from your mind? Okay, ordinary people say there's nothing in your hand, and you say there is something with the absence of flower. So this absence of flower is coming from the substance or from your mind? From the mind, it's not from the substance. If there's substance there, the ordinary people say there's something there. But ordinary people say nothing's there, which means there's no substance. If no substance there, something exists, it's not from the substance, it's from the mind. You're getting it? So this is known as imputed phenomena. Now, this is the foundation for us. Oh, things exist, but coming from a mind. So this is where the South Atlantic School, this concept, the composite space, what is compounded space or composite space or uncompounded space, non-composite space, this concept is more what to say, philosophically explained explained in more detail from South Trantika school, not so much by Bhashika. So South Trantika concept of things which can possibly come into being by your mind, by the power of mind, there is a basis. There is a basis based on which eventually you come to know that not only the uncompounded space, every phenomena, even the compounded space, even the table, even your body, even the Buddha, samsara, nirvana, everything is coming from your mind. So that is a Prasangika philosophy. So what South Trantika talks about the uncompounded space as coming from your mind, that is the initial stepping stone to get to the Prasangika's understanding of that everything is mentally imputed. This is so precious concept, and never give up. We are not to give up. Never ever give up. This concept we have to study. So then the South Trantika talks about permanent phenomena, impermanent phenomena which is made of substance, permanent phenomena coming from your mind. So it's split the phenomena in two groups. Something coming from the mind. So at least what comes from the mind is this concept is introduced for the first time. Then we go to Chittamatra, where it says that everything is the nature of your mind. Everything is the nature of mind. Even the substance, they're also come as the nature of mind. Chittamatra. Then you understand of the subjectivity becomes more profound. Then goes to Savatantrika Madhyamaka, where said that even the mind also does not exist truly. Nothing exists truly. Then goes to Prasangika, saying that everything is purely subjective, there's no objective reality. Whereas the Savatantrika Madhyamaka says existence means objective reality, and Prasangika says that there's no objective existence, yet things still exist. Okay, how many of you understood minimum 80% of what I said now? Minimum 80%. And if you say raise your hands, then 80% test will be there. If you pass, then tomorrow jump into emptiness. If not, we have to slowly start from A, B, C. Okay, we stop here. Good. We do the end declaration prayer. Okay, so in the group discussion, what I would suggest is that the group leaders or the moderators, you try to let people speak to explain what is compounded space, what is uncompounded space, how the compounded space is impermanent, how the uncompounded space is permanent, the distinction between the with substance, without substance, what is without substance comes from your mind. These must be discussed first. Only we discuss that review is done complete by people sharing, and particularly the group leaders, you should make sure that everybody speaks with respect to reviewing what you've done. Once that is done, then questions can be brought up to go for the fine-tuning. Okay, direction prayer. Which page? 5. Okay. In the land encircled by snow mountains, you are the source of all happiness and good. All powerful champions say, Tenzin Gyatso, please remain until samsara ends. Just as the brave Manjushri and Samanabhata too realize things as they are, also I dedicate all these merits in the best way that I may follow their perfect example. I dedicate all these roots of virtue with the dedication praise that's the best by all the Buddhas who appeared in 3 times so that I might perform the noble Bodhisattva's deeds. I dedicate the merit thus gathered towards the realization of the deeds in the prayers of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of 3 times and to the upholding of the doctrine of scripture and insight. May I in all life, through the force of this merit, never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahayana vehicle and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, perfect in the 2 stages, having dispelled all inner and outer obstacles and downfalls, such as poverty, despair, oppression, cruelty, epidemics, and natural disasters, to the environmental degradation. May all beings forever enjoy their glory, peace, and happiness. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. May I spend day and night carefully reflecting about what means can enhance this teaching achieved by the Supreme Savior through strenuous efforts over countless eons. From our two collections, vast the space that have amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds wisdomized blind and ignorance. Tabge tuje shage riso chon shenge meto dege bonjomba serge lumbo tabo jebe ko shage yebo kyola chazelo mone mone Mahamona Yeswa Om Mone Mone Mahamona Yeswa Age tuje shage so chon shenge dege bonjomba serge lumbo tabo jebe ko shage yebo kyola chazelo mone mone Mahamona Yeswa Om Mone Mone Mahamona Yeswa Tabge tuje shage riso chon shenge meto dege bonjomba serge lumbo tabo jebe ko shaye yebo kyola chaselo mone mone Mahamona Yeswa Om Mone Mone Maha Yeswa Om Mone Mone Mahamona Yeswa Om Mone Mone Mahamona Yeswa Om Mone Mone Mahamona Yeswa Okay, 3 prostrations together.